Welcome back to Sports Just right here on the Captain TV studios. And of course, we'll be having our very own Rachel Abioye from Lagos. But before that, I have two amazing gentlemen with me today. He's a Chelsea fan and also we have a Man United fan. They are none other than Emmanuel Daniel. Good afternoon
Good
and
afternoon.
welcome to Sports Just.
Thank you for having me.
Been a while.
Yeah.
Nice to have you back.
Thank
We
you.
also have Moses
Good
Abo.
afternoon.
Good afternoon, Moses. Welcome to Sports Just.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
All right, so today's topic should be focused on the Women's World Cup. So we're counting down to the Women's World Cup, and we are definitely excited that we have our Super Falcons participating in that encounter. Any expectations?
I don't expect much because I'm not sure we've really been preparing well because mentally the players have been down with the issues around the camp,
Okay.
with the manager not being capable of taking them far in the competition, and the players wanting to go on strike because of the bonuses they are not going to be receiving. So it's going to tell a lot on them mentally. That's just it.
All right. So the Super Falcons have promised to go on strike and even threatened to miss their first game. That's against Canada when the tournament starts. How do you react to that?
For me, I don't even think it's a good thing for the players because that alone can make them lose focus and can distract them from, their primary aim and the reason why they are in Australia, for the tournament. And this is not even the time to start talking about payments because if, the federation meant well for Nigeria as well as the players, they should have looked for a way to sort this out even before the players embark on this tournament, before they travel out to Australia. So that just shows you how, so bad the system is. That shows you how unorganized, the federation is. And I think it's high time, they look into all these things and address all these issues because we've seen so many players in the past who have been so very reluctant to come and play for Nigeria. And it's just down to all these, basic things that it should not even, be happening. It should not even come up at all. But, the reverse is the case, and it's very unfortunate that it's a country like Nigeria, having issues like this. It's a big embarrassment for, not just for Nigeria, but on the side of the players as well, and it's not good at all.
I mean, the fact that we are the giant of Africa, shouldn't it count for anything? Who do we blame in situations like this?
I should say we should start pointing fingers, but I don't know where we'll be pointing from. I think it's from the board of the NFF. Since Amaju Pinnick got the job, things has not been really working well for our football. And even after he left, it's still the same thing because the guy in charge now works with Amaju Pinnick. So I'm sure Amaju Pinnick still tells him what to do.
Exactly.
And with that, I'm not sure anything is going to be right in our football. There should be an overhaul in the NFL so that we should know where to start from, know where to fix things so that things will be right for our football, both in the male and female football.
All right. I think right now, let's add Rachel to the conversation. Hello? Rachel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good afternoon.
All right. Good afternoon. Welcome to Sports Just.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. Yes, over time, Nigeria as a nation has been, plagued with a lot of controversies. If it's not late payment, they are owing, there's fight, But recently there have been controversies surrounding the NFF, the Super Falcons, and the players. Who should you feature? Who shouldn't you feature? And right now they're saying that because FIFA has promised to pay them $30,000, they're not going to pay the money that they should pay the Super Falcons. Now, all these controversies surrounding these Super Falcons, you think is going to affect their play come the World Cup 2023?
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely going to affect their play. It's obviously something mental. In the Premier League and in league games, we've seen players being affected by things that are not even as important as this. And this is very crucial to the game. That's why I think the good book or the Bible says, money is the will of the gospel. So you cannot take out the money factor. You can. The best way to encourage these players is to make sure that they get their pay on time. And by the time you look at what's going on between the NFF, the Super Falcons coach around the World and the Super Falcons themselves, you find out that there's been a fundamental problem with the entire squad. And this is not just an. I would like to have narrowed it down and say, okay, it's just the Super Falcons that are being naughty. But by the time you look at what happened with the men's team in the last AFCON, in the last time Nigeria participated in the World Cup, in the under 20 games, in the under 17, both male and female side, this thing has become like a pandemic, or do I say an epidemic that recurs time and time again. It's a disease that has eaten into Nigerian football, and you find that it is exhausting, it is tiring, it's just sad and embarrassing. Like Moses said, it's absolutely embarrassing that in this 2023 you are hearing stories like this. You look at what Randy said initially. I'm just kind of glad that Randy Waldrum has come out to actually maybe spread or splash the poto everywhere so that everybody can have their share,
Sure.
NFF inclusive, so that we would know exactly what is going on. They have
Yeah.
been quiet for too long. How do you owe a coach 14 months salary? According to him, up on 3 weeks ago, it was being owed over a year's salary. And some of the Falcons are still being owed 2 years plus salary. Please tell me, how do you expect them to perform? Many of these girls, many of these women are doing it as a platform for
Yeah.
themselves, just to gain tracks into league games, and also as do I say as a call to duty for their nation. That's why a lot of them are still persistent, and they're just enduring and
Yeah.
trying to do it. And the NFF might come out and say, oh, they said they should pick local players and all of that. The local players is going to pick. Are they not going to be paid as well? Randy Waldrum has called them out that FIFA gave them 960,000 US dollars
Yeah.
towards this FIFA World Cup. Where is the money? Instead of us to hear proper accountability on how the money was spent, the NFF Communications Director is best talking about how Randy Wardrum has loud mouth, and they paid for them to go to go to Australia and all of that, all of those things that do not necessarily concern us. And when you cannot account for money that is being given to you to take care of this lady,
Yeah.
what do you expect? The only thing we're grateful for is that FIFA themselves have said they would directly pay the $30,000 to the players. I'm sure it's on the back of research that they found out that in many cases the money does not get to them. So what do you expect from those kind of players? It is definitely and most definitely going to affect their play. Even if it will not affect maybe the senior players, like maybe who are not really motivated by money, and that would be like maybe Ebionome, Asisat Oshuala, Rashida Tajibade, and just a few of them that are playing in the bigger leagues where they get to make money and they're not necessarily driven by money. What about the younger ones that are still trying to make name for themselves? See, you are a TV presenter. I'm a TV presenter. I think the other two people there, they've been on TV for a while, and I'm sure they can testify what people think of them when they see them on TV. Once you appear on TV once, the next thing people will start billing you and start asking you for money. Now imagine being a Super Falcons player. The idea is that there is money in football. Imagine the billings that will come on these girls from their family members, from their relatives, and all of that. So you can't just cut down on what they are supposed to get and just pretend as if everything is going to be okay. No, it's absolutely not.
Asisat Oshola, Desire Paradoxe, Oloihi and Co. Now they've come out to say that they are going to be protested. Now they don't even mind missing their first game against Canada come the 21st of July. Now if they go on to, stage that protest and miss that game, FIFA will definitely not just sanction them, but sanction Nigeria as a nation. Now how do you react to stuff like that?
Well, the obvious truth is that whether they go on strike or not, they are likely to underperform. So
Sure.
why not they just go on strike and get what is needed? See, sometimes you have to pay a huge sacrifice to get the desired results. I remember some time ago I read somewhere that in Ghana, for example, they had to go on strike in their universities for about 2 years, and
Okay.
it was after that strike that they had the major turnaround that their education system needed at the time. So if the strike would bring the result that is desired from both the NFF and the coach and every other person involved in this and the Ministry of Sports,
Yeah.
then why not? Because in the long run, they would still end up underperforming. They can, if they don't go on strike, they can get into that game and deliberately or intentionally not play well or not play to the tune of the coach and rubbish everything. We've seen players do that again and again and again. When they don't like a certain coach, just see them start playing rubbish. And they will not say they will not go into the game. They will go into the game but still protest while playing the game. So if they're going to go, if they're going to protest and go on strike and not even appear on the pitch at all, I think if that will bring solution to the problem, then why not?
All right. Now, the best result, I beg your pardon, we've gotten in this tournament was in 1999 when the Nigerian ladies reached the quarterfinals. I was really tipping them to excel this time out, but you seem to not have faith at all. But if things work out, what are your expectations? Genuinely, regardless of all the controversies, what do you expect from the ladies?
No, 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 dearest. Don't put me on the spot with regardless of all the controversies. There is no way we can take out the controversies out of this thing. And
Okay.
like Emmanuel rightly said earlier on, I have very little expectation of them. Not because the girls are not good, not because they are not experienced, not because they are not fantastic, but one of the complaints that Randy Wardrum made that caused the altercation between him and the NFF was that they were supposed to have a training with home-based players, the
Okay.
home-based players that he had selected in Nigeria before the international players come into town and they all go to Australia for another 15-day camp. But the NFF cancelled it. They did not allow it to happen. Although the NFF communications director, Mr. Ademola Olajire, his excuse or his response to that was that some of the players were or said the plan was so short-timed or something. There was this very funny excuse that he gave. So because of that, they thought that it was not necessary for them to have that training. See, if the home-based players rather, are not don't even have the required training that they are supposed to have with the coach, how do they get to familiarize themselves with him? You cannot compare these players, the Deme and the rest of them, with Onome Ebi and Assistant Oshuala
Sure.
that have played with Randy Waldrum on at least, I think, a number of occasions, and it's been about 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. Now, you cannot compare what they will do with him compared to, as against local players who are from the Nigerian Women's Football League that are supposed to have trained with him, familiarize themselves with his style, and get to know these things. So by the time you put all those things into retrospect, you find that there is no way. I'm
Okay.
sorry to say, but there is really no way that you can have much faith in the Super Falcons. The only
All
thing we
right.
can rely on is the individual
Performance.
individual performances of each one of those players that they are
Okay.
spectacular on their own. But they need to come together and play as one. Else, it will just be a repeat of what happened with the Super Eagles at the AFCON. A we had 24 star players. All the players were good individually, but when they came
Okay.
together as a team, it was a show of shame. So that's exactly what is going to happen if we are not careful. And with
All
this
right.
drama that is happening already, my dear sister, I have very little faith.
Okay, so
But
before I let you
let's just
go,
keep our hopes up.
well, Super Falcons or not, who are you tipping to win the Women's World Cup?
I think the United States of America have proven
Again
themselves again and again, again and again and
and
again and
again.
again. And again and again. So I think they are one of those teams that you would want to uh, tip off. But then there's still, I think Mata is going to play our last Women's
Her
World
very
Cup.
last World Cup, yeah?
Yes, her very last World Cup. And if I always feel sorry for her that if the league games for women had started during her time when she was still
Yeah.
in her prime. she probably would have won more Ballon d'Or than Alexia Putellas, but unfortunately,
Sure.
so and I'm sure with her experience, she's going to lead Brazil she's going to lead Brazil very far. Then
Okay.
I think those are just the major teams for me.
All right.
Are
Yeah,
you
okay.
serious?
Are you not
England,
tipping some curse Australia team?
England.
England. No,
And
I was
England, and
going to
even
tip
Alexa
England.
Putellas, Spain.
Yes, and Spain, right. I don't want to depend too much on Spain because
Okay.
Putellas is just like that star player. It's almost like this Man City's guy, Erling Haaland, in his Norwegian team. You know how that he's a star player, but if he doesn't have the support that he needs, I don't think that's enough. But I would tip England because England has Lauren James. They have
Sure.
Spencer. They have a lot of star players that are doing really well. So England has that potential as well. So, but we'll see how it goes before the Women's World Cup.
All right. Thank you so much, Rachel, for your time.
Thank you so much for
Do have a
having me.
wonderful day. Bye.
You too. Bye. Bye, Emmanuel and Moses.
Yeah, bye. All right, guys. She has said it all. She's definitely looking out for the England team and the USA team. Now, they've won it more. It's funny, it came to me as a shock that Brazil has never won the World Cup. That's the female division. Considering how well the Samba boys have dominated, the World Cup stage. But unfortunately, the ladies, they've not been able to,
To it, well, I feel like over time, when you look at the Brazil national team,
Yeah.
I feel like they've been more invested, into the men's team much more than the females team. We just started getting to know, some female Brazilian team over the past couple of years. But we were talking about this Brazil men's team who have been there, those years where Pele was there and Roberto Carlos and, other great players. So I feel like even Brazil as a national team, they've been more invested into the men's team, compared to the females team. But that doesn't necessarily take away the fact that they don't have, so many talented ladies, playing for Brazil as well. But I feel like, maybe in the next couple of years, we'll see Brazil women's team as well, competing with the likes of the United States of America and England. And when we look at England, they really want to win this competition because even their coach has said it, that the men's team, they've been so unlucky in the World Cup and in other competitions as well. And it's been like a pain in their hearts, that they are trying as much as possible to get it off their mind. And they feel like them winning this will bring some kind of consolation, to England as a country and to the national team as well. So I feel like they are really going into this competition to win the trophy.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, since its inception in 1999, America, obviously has won it 4 times. Germany has won it twice. Japan once, and Norway has won it once. Now, would there be a new winner, or will America continue dominating, or maybe Brazil?
I don't think any chance will be given to the United States, but they will try because they've been champions and they will show for sure that they are champions.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
But I'm sure other teams will want to show their prowess to make sure they clinch the title.
Yeah.
I'm looking at England.
England. Well, me, I'm looking at Australia. I don't know why.
Australia
I'm also looking at Nigeria.
Well, I feel like maybe one of the reasons why some people are looking at Australia is because
You
they
just
have
have
a very
to
strong
say.
team, and secondly, they are the host country.
Okay,
exactly.
sure.
Australia and New Zealand. So
New Zealand.
yeah,
No one is even talking about New Zealand. because
Nobody's talking about
we
New
really know
Zealand.
how good they've been in the
Yeah.
previous matches, the previous
Sure.
competitions. They've not been really good like that. But given the fact that they are hosting the competition, I'm sure they will try their best to make sure
Exactly.
they make their country proud.
All right.
And for England, I know they are going all the way.
All right.
Yeah.
For England, they are definitely going all the way in, and those are the words of Daniel. Anyways, let's talk a bit about transfer. Well, while still sticking with our own Victor Osimhen. Now, he has demanded, if Napoli wants him to stay or if they want to keep him, they should pay him £7 million a year. Now, that's the only thing that will make him stay in the club. Now, I said it before on this show. I feel like our African brothers, if I'm not being biased, I don't think they have that kind of luxury to push, you know, a move away from a club. Now, earlier when the season ended, Osimhen was very humble about this whole transfer saga because obviously you all know lots of clubs from Europe want him. Bayern Munich are, you know, fighting for him. Even your Manchester United wants him. Paris Saint-Germain. I mean, Chelsea wouldn't mind to add him to the squad. Yeah. You had to just point out Chelsea.
Of course.
Anyways, now he was being humble all this period, and he came out to say that, you know what, he will only leave the club if the president makes that decision for him, or if the president wants him to stay, he's going to be staying. It was being modest, but now the tune is a bit changing.
Yeah,
it's changing. Is he becoming proud, or is there something else?
No, I don't think it's pride. You know,
Okay.
you know, when you look at the transfer market, at times it's unpredictable. You know, a player can come out today and tell you that he doesn't necessarily know if he's going to stay, but he's happy in that current club. Then tomorrow he might wake up and things will change. The dynamics of everything will change. We've seen so many times where a club will come out and say this player is not for sale, and at the end of the day they will end up selling the club. So transfer market, most of the times, aside the fact that the decision lies with the club and the player, you know, it's like a business as well. You know, if any club comes up today and table an offer that is worth 130-40 million pounds, I don't think Napoli can say no to that type of offer, because even the president himself has come out and, you know, say that Osimhen is worth 150 billion euros. So let's assume any club comes forward and table that kind of offer, you know, that kind of ridiculous amount of money. It's going to be very hard for Napoli to say no, because, you know, forgetting about the fact that they are losing a very good player, this is an offer that they know that they will never get for a player like Osimhen if they don't take that offer. So at times it's all about the money as well. But, you know, when you look at Osimhen, for me, I would love Osimhen to leave Napoli, because at times in football, you never can tell. All these top clubs coming for you, they don't always come forward, you know, for players, and there are some opportunity that you only get once as well. So for me, as a Manchester United fan, I would love Osimhen to join Manchester United, but with the way things are and with the way we all know how difficult it is to negotiate with a president, Aurelio De Laurentiis, you know, we know he's a
very difficult man.
He's a very difficult
obviously
man.
As Daniel Levy.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
I'm sure they both graduated from the same.
with, and with the way things are, Manchester United, they are not in a position where they are ready to spend that kind of
money.
Money.
Oh, you guys are not ready, and yet the Man United fans I have on my contact list, they keep disturbing me. They are going to sign Mbappe, Osimhen.
No. You know,
the sales saga that's the issue now. You know, I don't know what's up with the Glazer family, if they're going to sell or not. Yeah. Because I know that once they sell Manchester United to the Qatari guy, there'll be money.
Exactly.
There's huge money.
Yeah.
They can even sign Mbappe if they want to. So I feel once this sales issue is resolved, man, you can have the money to get players. It's not like they don't have the money now, but they wouldn't want to spend that much money when things are not settled within the club.
Yeah, so and I feel like that's the reason why the owners now, they give Ten Hag a limited, you know, spending amount of money, because they know they are yet to clarify, you know, the takeover saga and everything. So, and like you said, if the Qataris succeed in taking over Manchester United, then Manchester United will have a lot of money to spend on players as well. So, and I feel like the likes of Osimhen, the likes of Mbappe, Man United signing them is dependent on who takes over Manchester United. If the Glazer stays, then chances that Manchester United can sign those players will be very slim. But if they succeed, you know, if the Qataris succeed in buying Manchester United, then I think Manchester United will have all the resources to go out and sign, you know, the likes of Osimhen and other players. As well.
I'd like to disagree about something you said about Victor Osimhen, that he needs to move on to another football club. You know, football is about consistency. If he stays another season for Napoli and keeps scoring those goals that he scores, I'm sure his price that will be increased. And the bigger clubs want to get him for real.
But the
this
bigger
time.
clubs already want him.
No, yeah,
but
much of it will happen next 2 seasons if he keeps
But-
going.
Well, I want to agree with
know-
Moses
do you
because
know-
his
do you-
form might
Do you-
depreciate.
Exactly, and
We cannot
the way
predict.
we are looking at it, you know, you are talking as if, you know, there's 100% guarantee that he would be able to keep up with the form. He will be able to replicate same form next
Yeah.
season.
I know there'll be-
And
there'll
let's
be
not forget
competition.
let's not forget about the facts that, you know, when Haaland was in Borussia Dortmund,
Yeah.
people were saying he should spend one more season in Borussia Dortmund because he came to Manchester City as a very young player. When Mbappe left Monaco, he left Monaco at the age of 18.
Okay.
You understand? At a very young age, that people felt like it's going to be very difficult for him
to adapt. Yeah.
and he should stay in Monaco for one more season and gain more experience and stuff like that. But at times, you know, things doesn't work that way. You understand? We've seen the likes of Jude Bellingham as well. You know, some people had reservations that should have stayed in Borussia Dortmund or go to a club that is not as big as Real Madrid because they wonder how he's going to be able to handle the pressure.
Okay.
But funny enough, you know, you will go to Madrid, you will thrive in that Madrid team and you will do so well. So I feel like if Osimhen stay in Napoli and he can replicate same form, fine. But at his age, you know, people feel like this is the right time for him to go to a top club, you know, and leave Napoli because we've seen the way Syria is. You know, at times in Syria, it's very difficult and hard for you as a player to keep up with consistency.
Sure.
Because of the way the team is. And in this transfer window, it's just so unfortunate that most Syria clubs right now, they are struggling to improve their squad.
Yeah, that is.
If Napoli can give him that guarantee that they will build up on the squad that won the trophy last season, then I think he should stay. You understand?
But then I
That's
doubt
a
they
good
can
one.
be able to do that.
But I doubt they can do that.
Yeah, I doubt.
If
Yeah.
a big offer comes, you'll let him leave.
I think I feel like what De Laurentiis is trying to do is to see who pays more.
Exactly.
And I think he's just trying to stall this move so he receives the most money. I'm sure the Italian league, they need the money. And that is why AC Milan, they forced Tonali's hand.
Yeah.
He didn't want to
He
leave
didn't want to
Milan.
leave.
Yeah, he didn't want to
They
leave.
made him leave because
Yeah.
They needed the
Newcastle,
money.
you know, they came with big money. And to them, is he worth this amount of money? So I feel like they might they have no choice but to sell Victor.
Maybe. Let's see
Osimhen.
how it goes. We still have a lot of time in transfer.
Well,
Yeah.
It's
And
really
so many things can
busy,
happen.
a
So
very
many things
busy,
can
even
happen.
like the loudest, the busiest transfer I've seen in a while. Messi is still yet to be unveiled for the Inter Miami
And as I
team.
heard, Alba is going to join him.
Yes,
Wow.
Alba and Sergio Busquets, and they are going to be taking America by storm. Anyways,
Just
since
like
I speak-
Ronaldo did with Saudi.
he just had to say Ronaldo's name. We cannot talk about Messi in peace. Anyways, yesterday, Cesar Spilicueta said his farewell to Chelsea. Also, Granit Xhaka also left Arsenal and has joined Bayern Leverkusen, and of course, Cesar Spilicueta joined Atletico Madrid. It was a very emotional farewell. I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm definitely gonna miss him. He was a true definition of what we call a legend. Would you miss him?
For sure, 100%. I'm going to miss Aspi. He's been a great player for us, committed player,
Yeah.
so passionate for the football club. I remember when we signed him from Olympique Marseille, he was just so
Young.
into them. He started with the under 23 before he
Okay.
got into the senior team. You know, he learned from John Terry and co. And he's lived up to expectation.
Yeah.
The guy has been so committed to the football club.
Definitely, he was.
We've given
He
him
was
so much
very,
many trophies.
instrumental to us
Yeah.
winning all those trophies.
Yeah. You know, it's not just being the captain on the pitch. You know, even in the dressing room, the way he gets the players together and talk to them, you know,
Yeah.
to make them do well. He's really a great guy, and we'll definitely miss him.
All right, we will definitely miss him. Moses, you're a Man United fan. Will you miss Cesar Spilicueta? Yes or
I
no?
think-
So we can round up.
In the Premier League.
Will you miss him?
I think we will miss him for
All right, thank you
experience
so
in
much,
Premier
guys.
League,
That's
yeah.
the much we can take on the show. It was an amazing time with you guys. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Danielle, Moses.
Yeah,
Let's do
pleasure
this
of mine.
again next week. Do have a wonderful weekend. I am Dearest Tumba. Bye for now.
The love for good sporting games. We all love good sport.
The joy of winning.